us officially welcome our speaker for today, Myrtle Fillmore. And her talk is entitled, Myrtle Fillmore, the Mother of Unity. A fitting title. Welcome.
Why, thank you, Miss Robin. It's so lovely to be here today on this special Mother's Day. This beautiful space with the light, the high ceilings, raising us to highest heights. The light coming through these beautiful windows. The flowers are lovely. They include the white carnation, which is the official flower of Mother's Day. The founder of Mother's Day, Anna Jarvis, determined that this should be the flower of Mother's Day because the petals don't drop from a white carnation. But just as a mother holds its children and holds her children, the petals close and hold themselves to one another as a mother's love enfolds her children and those in her world. So I just want to share with you another thing, which is we are blessed to have the Unity Wings looking down on us and sharing our space. And I am often asked, what is the origin of the Unity Wings? What do they mean? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. The winged globe originated in the ancient Egyptian culture over 5,000 years ago. Charles, my husband Charles, has noted that it emblemizes the perfect soul in its flight back to the Supreme, its original source in the bosom of absolute love and wisdom. Charles and I chose the winged globe as the symbol for unity because it represents the mind, conscious of its spiritual origin and power. As man develops spiritual consciousness, he attains the realization of the soul as the wings of the body. Charles further notes that the winged globe is also a symbol of the earth and its soul. The earth has a soul, as have its products of every description. All exist in the ether, the anima mundi, the divine mother. When people of the earth lift up their thoughts to God, then the planet takes wings into a higher radiation of universal life. We first used the winged globe symbol on the cover of our debut issue of Unity magazine in 1891. And since then, the symbol has gone through over 100 different renditions, but is still used in Unity across the world today. So all the words in my talk today are taken directly from my writings and my lectures. So I will be reading to ensure precision. So I invite you to feel free to close your eyes at any time during my talk to listen to my voice as I speak these words of truth to my dear ones today. I see the title of my talk chosen as Meet Myrtle Fillmore, the Mother of Unity. Well, I feel you are crowning me with an honor that belongs to the Holy Spirit, which is omnipresent and which expresses in the loving desires of the hearts of all those who are endeavoring to manifest the mother side of God. You call me the Mother of Unity? Well, now I know of nothing that would give me greater joy to feel that God could work so perfectly through me as to bring forth a great ministry and a place of peace and goodwill and help such as this. But in reality, I feel I am only the soul who caught the first vision of this ministry and who nurtured that vision until others came along to help in the establishment of it in the minds and hearts of our dear ones. Charles and I just received from the Father all ideas that proved helpful in our own family, and then we shared them with others, and they too were helped. You may never have suspected it, but the unity work is a dream that has been nurtured and built from the invisible to the visible, to the concrete, through love, devotion, and good hard work. We never cared to interest folks in our own lives. It makes no difference to others what we have done or who we are. What is important is that we are doing what the Father has given us to do, according to our best light. We are glad to share it. We are not trying to interest folks in the Unity School, but in the ideas of the Christ mind, which is the foundation of the work and our life. Since I'm meeting some of you for the first time today, I do feel compelled by Spirit to share a little bit of my personal story with you, so that you may be given an example of the transformative power of the divine mind in its perfect alignment with God. I was born in Missouri on August 6, 1845, to my parents Marcus and Lucy Page, and I was christened Mary Carolyn, although my father always called me Myrtle. They were successful Ohio farmers, but they were strict puritanical Methodists. There was something in me that protested against the declaration that I was by nature evil or sinful. I was a very sickly child and grew up to be an emaciated little woman upon whom relatives and doctors placed the stamp TB, as tuberculosis ran through my father's family. Despite my illnesses, I was eager to read and learn, but little girls were not encouraged to do so back then. I secretly took my brother's books to study. Fairy tales, histories, myths, and scientific works. I eventually became a writer for a newspaper in Columbus, Ohio. When I was 21 years of age, I enrolled in the literary course for ladies at Oberlin College. Now, Oberlin College is the first university in the United States of America to accept women into its student ranks. But these courses only lasted 1 year because women were not eligible for the regular 4-year college programs. Upon graduating in 1867, I began teaching public school in Missouri, and what a joy it was for me to come in touch with those young folks like those that we have here today, to help them hitch their wagons to the stars and to keep their eyes toward the heights. When I met Charles, I was 9 years his senior, but our connection was strong and we were married. We had 2 children, Lowell and Rickard, and settled permanently in Kansas City in 1885. And it was there that we had our 3rd son, Royal. I was fearfully sick. I had all the ills of mind and body that I could bear. Medicine and doctors ceased to give me relief, and I was in despair. It was at the age of 40, while in attendance at a lecture by Christian Science practitioner Eugene B. Weeks, that my soul and heart were filled with hungry longings for truth. What joy to realize that I had been laboring under the belief that ill health was inherited, and the truth of my divine parentage freed and healed me. It flashed upon me that I might talk to the life in every part of my body and have it do just what I wanted. I went to all the life centers and organs of my body and spoke words of truth to them, words of strength and power. I told the life in my liver that it was not torpid or inert, but full of vigor and energy. I told the life in my stomach that it was not weak or inefficient, but energetic, strong, and intelligent. I told the life in my abdomen that it was no longer infested with ignorant ideas of disease, but there put there by myself and by doctors, but that it was alive with the sweet, pure, wholesome energy of God. I told my limbs that they were active and strong. I told my eyes that they did not see of themselves, but that they expressed the sight of spirit, and that they were drawing on an unlimited source. I told them that they were young eyes, clear, bright eyes, because the light of God shone through them. I told my heart that the pure love of Jesus Christ flowed in and through its beatings, and that all the world felt its joyous pulsation. I asked their forgiveness for the foolish, ignorant course that I had pursued in the past when I condemned them and called them weak, inefficient, and diseased. I kept right on, both silently and aloud, declaring the words of truth until the organs responded. I read the works of Mary Baker Eddy and of Emma Curtis Hopkins, both Christian Science educators and writers. I pursued courses of study and was ordained as a Christian Science practitioner minister in December of 1890. I immediately sought to help others. From the moment I perceived the healing law, I could not let my neighbors alone. They had to know there was a better way, but I was not meddlesome. Charles joined me as a practitioner of spiritual healing, and soon clients would just come to our home, and we in turn taught them the truths of being for healing. But offensive little troubles would continue to give me difficulty. Every time I was ready to shout, "Victory!" up would bob the reminder that I was not yet free. Inspired by Scripture in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, "Be transformed by the renewal of your mind," I at last began to search my daily thought more carefully and recognize the threefold nature of our being in soul and body and mind. And the best way to discipline the mind, develop intuition, and manifest the Christ consciousness is through prayer and meditation. It is through prayer that we become spiritually quickened, illumined, and guided. Prayer has the power to stir to action within us the vital energies that renew, strengthen, and sustain mind, soul, and body. Prayer is to change our minds and hearts so that God's omnipresent good may fill our minds and hearts and manifest in our lives. Prayers are not sent out at all. We are to concentrate all our attention upon the truth of God and the truth of our own being. Prayer is communion with God, an attitude of mind and heart, and positive declaration of this truth sets up a new current of thought power. Belief that what we need is already manifest through divine mind. Spirit intends you to be a radiating center that will draw to you whatever you need to be well and strong, successful and prosperous. God is the very intelligence that is within us, in every nerve and brain cell and structure of the body, as the very love that draws together and holds in perfect harmony all the elements of our being, if we will only allow it. It was through publications that Charles and I were able to share these ideas, starting as a monthly magazine called Modern Thought. Articles were written that impart the truth of being, truth principles, and as I like to call them, Christ principles. They could be easily applied to daily living for awakening and healing. We also issued a monthly magazine for children called Wee Wisdom. We began the Society of Silent Help in 1890 and met every night at 10 o'clock in silent soul communication to reach those who could not have the benefit of personal healing or teaching. It was always deemed sacred to pray for the absent. We encouraged readers of our magazine to join the society and participate in the silence. It was open to every soul in the universe. You may know of this today as Silent Unity. Throughout the 1890s, we continued our association with great spiritual thinkers of the time and explored the Gospels of Jesus and the religious literature of both East and West. Our articles and news items came from a variety of spiritual teachings: transcendentalism, metaphysics, Ralph Waldo Emerson's ideas that we all have a spark of divinity within us and that we share our divine and loving nature with God. We also studied theosophy, Christian Science, Hinduism, Buddhism, and even spiritualism. And from our studies of Eastern and Western thought, we extracted the truth from all religions and developed a teaching called practical Christianity. It is the teaching of Jesus correctly interpreted, the application of all the affairs of life, of the doctrine of Jesus Christ. Our society was soon called Unity, and we were inspired to recognize that these truths from ancient cultures, religions, and spiritual practice could become one in unity. My work is a work of love and encouragement and blessing, a work with you, the individual, with a view to lift you into a greater light and consciousness of freedom and power and plenty, that you may better do your part in unity with others. And we're going to revisit the prayer of faith. I would like you to hear the only recording of my voice saying the prayer of faith. Let's listen to it now.
God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind and loving too. All things I am, can do and be, through Christ the truth that is in me. God is my help, I can't be sick. God is my strength unfailing quick. God is my all, I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. Amen.
And so it is. And may all of you have a beautiful, beautiful day, an abundant, inspired life. Thank you so much for